Alright, yeah, we are back this week with Magic Duels with our subscriber Bant Flicker deck that was submitted to us by Renan Régis. So if you didn't see the deck tech, be sure to check it out. Yes, this is a pretty sweet deck. It allows us to flicker in creatures for card advantage, and it has a sweet infinite combo that's quite difficult to pull off. But hopefully we get to do it this week. I am really hoping we do. Anyway, guys, I will see you in the games. Bye-bye. Okay, we're in. This is a pretty crappy hand. We have no green mana. This one, on the other hand, could be quite good if we draw into the right stuff. I'll throw it in. Let's do it. Let's lead off with a Canopy Vista, since I'm unsure if we'll be able to get it in untapped in the future. Our opponent, by the way, is rank 29, called Top Decking. And our opponent is on black at the moment. So we shall see what they're up to. We'll play a plains and pass the turn. If we don't hit a land, we're in a little bit of a difficult situation. Kind of in a bit of a difficult one anyway. I'm kind of regretting keeping this hand the more I look at it. Oh, we get a displace. Alright. Well, we get to do nothing this turn. Opponent is on Ozhov. Black-white. This could be a drain deck, perhaps, or it could be... Oh, dear. Yeah, we're being mana screwed. This is not what I hoped for when I picked this hand. Let's drop... Let's drop an unsubstantiate. Let our opponent know how mana screwed we are by dropping in a coloured land that we can't use. Oh, dear. Yes. We'll drop Linvala. We ain't getting anywhere near her. Our opponent, fortunately, doesn't seem to be doing anything either. Ah, yes, finally. We get ourselves an Evolving Wilds. So we will pass the turn over, actually, since we have no use for cracking it now. Our opponent does know we're running blue, though, so we're not exactly helping ourselves out in any way by not just immediately cracking it. So we'll get that island. That'll help us do stuff. Our opponent's been doing nothing, so I imagine the first creature to play down will get removed. So why not put down an Eternal Bond instead, so that at least off the Eldrazi Displacer we get to replace it with a card. That's the hope anyway. You might have an Anguished Unmaking perhaps to get rid of it. Doesn't look like it. Okay, so we could throw down the Displacer now, but we would leave ourselves open to having our creature removed and there'd be nothing we could do about it. Whereas if we wait for another land drop, we can displace her and then hold up Long Road Home, and we'll be even able to replace this card with the Eternal Bond when the Eldrazi Displacer comes back in. So I think I'm not going to play any creatures out. Our opponent seems to be slow rolling us and sandbagging us with his cards, so yeah, let's just see. Okay, so he's going to get in for his 1 damage. We are dead in 20 turns. I'm currently very terrified, but we are still on the same life total as our opponent, so here's to a land. Come on, land. Sage of the Ancient Law. No, I think I'm just gonna keep going, although we'll just... No, I'll throw down the Displacer because we're going to be discarding anyway. At least this way we can get some removal out of his hand, and we get to play our land drop for the turn as well. So here comes the removal. Oh no, he's just going to Westvale Abbey. Okay. That's really good for us, actually. As long as he doesn't remove anything on his turn, he might be using sorcery speed removal, perhaps. We will see. Yeah, here's the murder. So we're just going to sack our Evolving Wilds. Let's go get another green source, I suppose. And we lose the Displacer. It's not gone for good. We do have ways of getting it back, but... And we also have a replacement as well, so... It wasn't exactly doing anything, but for 3 mana we could keep destroying his tokens. So our opponent kind of did have to remove it. Let's go with Sage of the Ancient Law. We have ourselves a 7/7 and draw a card. And draw another card. We will Evolving Wilds and pass the turn. If our opponent does nothing on their turn, which is unlikely, I imagine we're going to see some removal here, to be honest. Let's throw the Reprisal. We have Angelic Purge. If he's going for the Almond Doll, then we can exile it with Angelic Purge. So let's see if our opponent will try get to that level. Declaration in Stone, that's fine. We get to draw cards off of that. We are going to thin out a deck, though, so that we don't draw into... Oh, we have less chance of drawing into a land with that clue token. That's fine, because with Reflector Mage, we can get that down. We can flicker away his creatures, and we can keep flickering our Reflector Mage for value as well. Ooh. Actually, Reflector Mage doesn't trigger Elemental Bond, so I'm not really oohing for the right reasons in that situation. So we will Reflector Mage, and it'll allow us to leave up 3 mana to flicker our Reflector Mage and keep it safe, but it'll also allow us to sacrifice the clue at their end step, should they do nothing. So we'll see. Okay, they're going to make another token. Still not entirely sure what their plan is, other than draining their life total. Gilt Leaf Winnower. Alright. We are gonna Long Road Home our Reflector Mage, which means it will come back in with an extra 1/1 counter and we'll be able to draw a card off of that. We'll also be able to flicker away one of their tokens. I think I'm going to flicker a token rather than the Winnower, because obviously it can just bring it back and try to get our Reflector Mage again, which doesn't do us any good. So we'll bounce a token and we'll draw a card. We can actually Angelic Purge and sack our clue if we want as well. That's a consideration. Maybe we want to do that actually, so that we can get him for 3 damage and start making some progress. I think so, because we can leave up 4 mana for Long Road Home. And also Bounding Crisis. So yeah, let's do that. Exile that guy. And sack our clue. We will leave this Angelic Purge for Ormondal. I'm not sure what the odds are of seeing it in this game, but having some sort of removal. Do we want to save Reflector Mage? I think we want to save Reflector Mage. If we save Reflector Mage, essentially we can have Bounding Crisis down and our Displace will do 2 things. And we'll also get to draw a card and bounce his token away, so yeah, I think we're going to do it. It's not the greatest of value, but it essentially fizzles out his removal. And we go to our end step and get it back. And get rid of his token again and draw a card. Thought Not Seer. That's pretty sweet, actually. Thought Not Seer will draw us a card, and then we can displace both the Thought Knot and the Reflector Mage, draw another card, and get 2 cards out of his hand that we don't want to see. Maybe the mass removal. So I think our opponent's a little afraid to try remove anything anymore. Sorin Grim Nemesis. Alright. That's actually a bit of an issue. Is he going to mine us to try kill our Reflector Mage? He is. Okay. That's not bad, actually. If only we had an extra mana, we could have Bounding Crisis, actually. Unfortunately, we can't. We do get another Displacer, though, so that's pretty sweet. I think we will Thought Not Seer, try and get a card out of his hand. I imagine it's just jam-packed full of removal. Oh, there's Tamio. Oh my god, that's a lot of removal. Right. I think we just want to get rid of Planar Outburst. We can flicker the suppression bonds off of our creatures. Ah, but Liliana... Liliana's an annoyance. Tragic Arrogance isn't too bad. We can work around that. Oh, Liliana. Get rid of Lily. We can always displace and get rid of the Planar Outburst anyway, so... yeah. Okay. So what we can do here is we can either displace our Thought Not Seer on our end step, or we can flash in the Bounding Crisis if he tries to remove our Thought Not Seer. Either way, we can take Sorin down so long as... oh, he got another Tragic Arrogance. Ooh. Alright. Just make sure to set up our board state in such a way where Tragic Arrogance is a dead card to him. So we can only have one Planeswalker, can only have one enchantment, one creature. Suppression Bonds. Okay. That's fine. Right, he didn't have any instant speed removal in his hand unless I, with the memory of the fish, have forgotten. We will just finish. We will get to draw a card as well. Drowner of Hope is pretty sweet, and that means Sorin is down. Sun Petal Grove. Okay. So let's get in on the Sorin. He can't tap enough lands to make a token to block. So that is sorted. We can displace her and take a card out of his hand and also get a Thought Knot back. I think we want to do that. Oh, but he's got Tragic Arrogance. He's got two of them, and that's kind of a problem. Let's just Tamio then, I guess. Let's get that going. That doesn't hurt us to have either Planar Outburst or our Tragic Arrogance against us. And what we can do is we can displace on his end step and flicker both of these. If he plays a creature, for example, we can tap it down and then we can take the Planar Outburst out of his hand with Thought Not Seer. Other suppression bonds, that is dead. Oh no, I can't flicker that. Damn it! I can Angelic Purge it though. So let's displace these two. And it doesn't really matter about displacing the Crisis, but whatever. We'll choose an opponent, and then we'll choose an opponent, and choose an opponent, and no tapping. Draw two cards. Reflector Mage. Okay. So our opponent gets to draw a card. We get to remove a card. I'm going to go with the Planar Outburst, so we can keep our board very stable. Let's go with Plains, because what we could do with just Seller is copy her with Altered Ego. I think we want to Angelic Purge away the suppression bonds so that we can plus Tamio, get in with our two creatures and draw some cards. Yeah, let's do that. So let's kill the suppression bonds. Let me just look at my lands before I sack them. We want to sack a Plains because we've got plenty. So we'll sack one of the tapped Plains. We get to plus Tamio on our two creatures. Yep. Continue playing. So whenever these guys deal any damage, we draw a card. So let us get in with our creatures. And we get to draw some cards. Lovely. And this is just where the deck gets out of control now. There's not really much our opponent could do. The funny thing is, we kind of really need to empty our hand of things, but I suppose we'll just play an Elemental Bond. Because we're just going to be discarding anyway, so I might as well get some value out of the cards that we've got. So he's going for a token. Okay. So we know he's got 2 Tragic Arrogances in his hand. Can't remember what his unknown card is. I think that's the one he's drawn into. Oh, it was Gisela. Yeah, of course. So he's got Gisela. And he's got his other one. Let's, in that case, Essence Flux. We'll let him draw a card. And then we will exile a card. We get to draw 2 cards. And we get to kill his token as well. Ooh. So yeah, let's get rid of his Gisela, I think. Or do we want to work on... Actually, we want to work on getting rid of these Tragic Arrogances so they can't be used against us. And we get to keep Tamiyo safe. We might actually ultimate Tamiyo on this turn. Or the next turn, should I say. Alright, Obnixilis comes down. Was a bit hasty with the Thought Knot there, but he's not going to use the minus ability to kill the Thought Knot. He's going to go with a Gisela, though. Okay. So, we get to... might as well Crumbling Vestige, I suppose. Blue, whatever. We get to Reflector Mage his Gisela away, so we get to kill his Obnixilis. We get to plus our Tamiyo. I get to choose 3 now. Strange that it lit up. Next turn we get to ultimate Tamiyo, which can enable some infinite combos. In theory, we do need to find our Green Warden. But once we've done that, we've got infinite mana, infinite everything. So, let's kill Obnixilis. I'm just playing with the food at the moment because I want to do this infinite combo. It'll be the first time I've ever done one as well, so... Yay! Alright. We get another Displace, which allows us to displace whichever 2 of the 3 cards we want. I'm just going to go to discard. I don't think we need to do any of that shenanigans. Let's take Sage out, I suppose. So he's got a Gisela, he's got a Tragic Arrogance, and an unknown card. Alright. Could just find out what that unknown card is. Languish. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, that's a problem. Yeah, well. Let him draw a card. I could have flickered one last time, but don't see the need. Let's get out of Bounding Crisis just so we've got a clock on. Yeah, do nothing. Draw 2 cards. Look for that Green Warden. Once we find that Green Warden, we're set. Oh, damn it. Alright. Ultimate Tamiyo. Everything in our hand is now free. Oh my god. I can't allow myself to die because that Elemental Bond could mill us to death. So, Drowner of Hope. Play it for free. Draw 2 cards. Alright. Nissa. Play it for free. I might end up killing myself here. There are no creatures, no lands in our deck anymore. We could displace and draw loads of cards. Oh my god, we got 12 lands left. This is the this is the first game I've ever played with this deck, by the way, guys. So In the first ever game, I pulled off the infinite combo that I said was very difficult. And found it actually wasn't that difficult. We'll play Eldrazi Displacer for free. Draw 2 cards. Get some more Flicker. Get some more lands. Tireless Tracker for free. Draw 2 cards. Come on, Green Warden, you can't be right at the bottom. Unsubstantiate does allow me to bounce my elemental bond. Oh, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Damn it. Alright. I'm going to pass the turn because I'm really scared of milling myself to death. Genuinely. I want to set it up so that we can win easily. You're going to make me sack my creature. Alright. That's fine, I suppose. Yeah, I'm genuinely worried about milling myself. So, I'm just going to pass the turn. Discard what we need. What we don't need, sorry. We don't need lands. We never need lands ever again. We don't technically need any of these Essence Fluxes. We don't need the Reprisal. We only need 1 Displace. Alright. Can our opponent ruin our day? Tragic Arrogance. Okay. Well, we're going to Long Road Home for free our Drowner of Hope. So you can't choose. It actually gets rid of one of our elemental bonds as well, which is pretty sweet. And then we get a Drowner of Hope back on our end of our turn. Gisela. Alright. We are going to tap it down for free. Draw a card. We're getting close to the end now. Tireless Tracker. Tap. Drowner of Hope. Draw a card. God damn it. I think Green Warden's right at the very bottom of our deck. Well, I think you can kind of see how this deck works. Well, how does... No, I don't think this works the way that I think it will. But we might as well get Gisela with +10/+10 counters on it. There's Green Warden. Oh, but we've got 4 cards left now. So I can't really do it. But essentially, Green Warden, play for free, gets us a Displace. I'll just show you the infinite combo. So we get the Green Warden back. We can play Displace. We get Green Warden and Drowner back, drawing 2 cards, and then Green Warden gets back Displace. I don't want to do it because it will kill me. But in the event of him trying to remove our combo, I might just do that. So let's get in for 9 here. And pass the turn. Discard some lands. Never need lands ever again. What's his last card? Please don't be something that ruins me. It'd be pretty funny, but please don't. He's not going to show us what it is. Well, I'm going to unsubstantiate his Gisela out the way at the end of turn. Unless he's got something for us. Gilt Leaf Winnower. That's annoying. Well, we're going to unsubstantiate that instead. Not that it really does anything because he can cast it again, but... what I can do is I can flicker one out the way. Is it just going to end his turn? Odd. Right, well, we're going to Displace for free. We're going to flicker Drowner of Hope and Green Warden. I'm going to draw a card. Getting displaced back. I'll draw 2 cards, sorry. We get displaced back. We get 2 tokens so that we can tap him down, sack one of them. We draw the last card in our deck. And we swing for lethal. GG. This deck is crazy. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next game. Alright, we're in. Hinterland Arbor, Crumbling Vestige. Ooh, this one's difficult to want to keep. But I think I'll go with it based off the fact that we can get an Elemental Bond and potentially reflect a Mage on curve. So we'll take it like that. Hopefully we don't get screwed over with mana. Our opponent, by the way, is rank 33, called Kafti. What is our opponent playing? Green, white. Okay. Not sure what this could be. Could be humans, tokens. Could be a fair few things. We're not going to play our land drop this turn because Crumbling Vestige might be what we need for our 3rd mana source. Yeah, this is why it was a bad keep for me. Once we're down and we've got the elemental bonds going though, we should be fine. But as it stands, alright. This is Bant. It could be an equal matchup. Ah, oh, damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Alright, we're going to be discarding anyway, so I'm just going to throw the Crumbling Vestige down. We have nothing to do with our 2 mana, so we might as well just pretend we are green-blue colourless. And just flicker that away. Nissa's Pilgrimage. So our opponent is ramping into something. Still not sure what they'd want to ramp into. We are getting mana screwed. Oh dear. I think I'll throw the Sage away. We're nowhere near it. Rather keep these cards around because they have an immediate use to us. And then we've got an Explosive Vegetation, so we are turns behind now thanks to our mana screw. Ah, there we go. That's pretty sweet. So we get to Elemental Bond. If our opponent doesn't remove it, then on the next turn we get to Bounding Crisis, draw a card, and I think we're out of our mana issues now. We still need a white source for a Reflector Mage, which I was hoping the Crumbling Vestige would be. But we were kind of forced into playing that early. Jace, Unraveler of Secrets. I think this is Super Friends. Opponent is going to scry and draw. And play an Evolving Wilds into Sylvan Advocate. Okay. Alrighty then. Come on, land. Yay! Tap land. Well, what it does mean is we can Bounding Crisis and tap down his Advocate. That'll slow him down at least a little bit. And then we can also flicker our Bounding Crisis in the future to get more card draw and to tap down his creatures. Just going to sack his Evolving Wilds. I would have done that before I ended up scrying, because I imagine he just scryed a land to the bottom. Here comes Nissa. Annoying. She's going to be able to play the land and flip into a Planeswalker. Yeah, we've lost this. No chance we're coming back. Telling you now. Need a miracle. And a Duskwatch Recruiter to find his big monsters that are inevitably in his deck. which also protects him from our bounding Krasis. Well, you win some, you lose some. In our case, we really won some, but now we lost some. Suppose that just showcases the top and bottom of this deck, really. It does run a bit of a low land count, does this deck, which can lead to this, but when you're flickering and drawing cards, you want to keep your land count relatively low so you're not drawing a crap ton of them. But still, maybe it does need an extra land in, just to avoid those situations. But as I mentioned, once the elemental bond's down, and we're playing creatures into it and drawing cards, several cards a turn, it doesn't particularly matter. It's just getting to that 3 mana to be able to do it that can be the issue. Oops, I wasn't paying attention there. Yeah, well, it does allow us to tap down. Actually, I'll just do it now. Tap down his Advocate. Potentially force a trade against his Nissa. Or his Dustwatch Recruiter, sorry. So that we can attack his Nissa. If we hit a white source, we can bounce it away as well. He could just have a creature here and then all of that's irrelevant. But we'll see. We will see. Declaration in Stone, well, thanks. Kind of helps us out. Let's Reflector Mage. Bounce his Advocate, I guess, so that his Dustwatch can't get in. And pass the turn. Alright. He's gonna tell in time. How far's off? It's -8 for Jace, so yeah, he could just ultimate his Jace here. Thalia. Yeah, that just screams Super Friends to me. Slow down your opponent so you can get as many Planeswalkers on the board as humanly possible. Here comes Thalia. That does mean our flickers now make our creatures enter tapped, which is annoying. I don't think I can stress that enough. We can attack him with a Reflector Mage and then Essence. No, that doesn't work how my muddled brain thought it would. I guess we're just gonna have to sack a clue and see what we draw. It's another long road home. Right. Well, he gets to ultimate his Jace next turn and there's nothing we can do about that. So we've lost. So it's just a matter of slowing our opponent down, really. We might as well use the more expensive cards since the first one gets countered every time. So we'll Reflector Mage. He's going to Spell Queller it. Yeah, alright. Had we drawn our lands on time, we could have maybe gotten around this, but what can you really do? Plus his Nissa. Gets himself a land, ramps him up. He's gonna go for the greedy play and keep his Jace alive. Suppose he might as well. I can't get in for an attack. And I'm guessing he probably won't attack him with much. Oh, he's assuming that I won't be able to get in with my Reflector Mage. Or he's got a backup creature, either way. Then again, Nissa's almost close to ultimating as well. Here comes Gisela. And here comes Advocate. Yeah. Alright. And another Advocate. We hit a land. That's about it, really. Not much we can do. Just pass the turn over, really, and just let him beat us. Tell you what. No, I'm not even going to do it. Not even going to do it. I was going to flicker one of his creatures away, but that just means we die slower, and what's the point? He's got himself an Avacyn. So all of his creatures will be indestructible. I'll let him flip so he can kill us easier. First spell we cast each turn is going to be countered. Ramps himself up, gets an Evolving Wilds. Kill me. Kill me. Ah, well, that was a bit of a whiff of a game, but it happens. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's episode. So be sure to share this video around. It helps me out a great deal. It's the best way to support the channel is getting my channel seen. If you do that, I greatly appreciate it and love you forever. But I love you anyway because you are watching my videos, and that's all that really matters at the end of the day. If you love the video, be sure to leave a like. That also helps me out. And subscribe if you haven't already for more Magic content as well as other things. If you want to know what those other things are, check out the end card and see the rest of the content I've got to offer. And otherwise, I will see you next time. Bye-bye.